happens and you see that Rise Nation is able to take District, I think Forge Blitz can actually kind of go their way. And you're gonna find out why soon. Folks, we're starting off with our very first map on Gears 5.
Yep, could not be more excited. Reciprocity Rise. It's a brand new map, and as we said, there's so many things to talk about. The win conditions, we didn't even touch on that. Of course, now you can win a round, guy, just by getting a 5-man wipe.
Yes, you can. Yo, when it comes down to the win conditions, Benson, before it was you get a trip cap domination, you won a round. You reach 250 points, you won a round. But now it's gonna be if you wipe the entire opponent team, you can also win a round. So we heard Ryan talking about it earlier. When your entire team is wiped, you have 3 seconds to make a decision if you want to spawn in or not. And that 3 seconds plays a crucial part with the respawning system because you find a lot that you have to make these split-second decisions to decide if you want to get back into the round or not.
Already, trip cap domination could come through. It's Reciprocity putting their foot on the gas pedal early. Round 1 goes their way. Less than a minute, setting the tempo, and the players reacting in tune as well. This is the Reciprocity you want to see.
Ooh,
want to see that energy, but
icy.
Again, I want to point out, when we talked about Franchise as a player, we've said when it comes to these new maps and learning quickly, he is going to flourish. That's what he's really going to bring to the table. And the fact that the first 2 maps are new maps, you're feeling real good if you're a Rec fan, let me tell you.
No, you definitely are. You know, in this venue at the very first Gears of War event ever about 12 years ago, it's only 3 people who was there. Myself, Veli, and Franchise, okay? Fran is a veteran of the sport. And with this game in Gears 5, it's going to play a little bit more towards his strengths with the older play style of Gears back in the Gears 2 days where it was more methodical and slowed down a bit.
Well, just to touch a little bit on weapon placement, because that has changed a lot as well. Not only at halftime do the weapons not get removed, now each team actually gets a pick as well. And it's the winning team, the team that won the last round, that gets first pick. So some big changes there, guys.
So we saw the marks that get decided to be placed down in the middle by Reciprocity, but on the flip end, Rise Nation chose to give Detox a Botox. Now I got a chance, so you can also choose to give a player the option to cycle through pistols to have the option of Botox, the new pistol as well, the Talon, and the Snub. So Detox, I saw him warming up with that Botox earlier. It hits hard, it has 12 shots in the clip, and you know, he can get a lot done with it. I'm pretty sure we'll see soon.
Okay, well, as we said, it was a good start for Reciprocity. They take round number 1, and round 2, it's Rise that control of their home.
And the pistol's going to be in Drix's hands as well.
Okay, so interesting take on the weapon placement. That's something which I think the players themselves have said. It's so hard to judge, right? Because the meta hasn't been established yet.
Correct.
And it basically feels like just play your own game. Play what you feel is going to suit you. Don't worry about trying to be smart and trying to counter other picks. There's certain methods which, if we see, we'll bring up from what we've learned. But for the most part, it should be play your own game. And well, in terms of playing your own game, Sleepy finds the headshot
with that Marksa. And folks, I got a chance to play with that Marksa. It shoots so cleanly. The recoil pattern on it is beautiful. We're going to see a lot of Marksa plays this season. And now you see Reciprocity bringing the pressure. Where more so, they are on top of Rise Nation's home hill, and they're going to be defending this one. 2 hills to their advantage now, trying to break off towards that B hill.
Well, so far, Reciprocity doing a good job of just coming back into this one. Again, you'll see players up to respawn for the most part here. Close round. Maybe not until a little bit later on where we'll start using the term eco rounds, where teams will just concede the round and make sure they save those respawns.
And Vincent, you know, one thing that you mentioned earlier, wow, Vexys is going to pick up a double. This is something that we can say, the inverse Omen. You know, previously in other Gears, the Omen in the middle just got red, but the outsides of your screen did not. With that Omen being that way, it makes it more difficult to clutch us sometimes. So if you see players picking up 2 pieces, 3 pieces, just know that these guys are going off. But the other thing that I want to mention, as you said earlier, is going to come down to playing your game.
Yes.
The way that the weapon placements are, whatever you place on your home hill is going to swap with you every single round. So, you know, the one reason why I said if Rise Nation can make it to Forge Blitz, for you guys who watched the Gears 4 season, you saw how strong they were on that map.
Yep.
But this time they'll be able to put snipers on their side of the map and build to their team's strength.
Well, Power is currently sitting at 3 and 2. Trip cap coming in for Rec, but Rise are there. They will break the A hill. The point lead as it stands, 203 to 195, and now it seems like the round could be stolen from underneath their noses. Sleepy should have a 1v1, which he needs to win. Is he gonna get it? No, he's not. He falls. B is still under Reciprocity control. It's a 3-point lead currently. Rise now will start earning themselves points as they lock down A. It's Drix on the other side,
this
though,
is a
the
big cap.
mid-neutral. He's going to decap, and I think he should be good for the cap as well.
You see at the top, Cog wins in 30 seconds. Will get a new win condition when he caps this hill. Swarm wins in 17. This player, Rezik, has to go big. He gets 1. Can he get 2? He has to fight this engagement.
Never mind, they bought a little bit of time. It's just 1 hill each, and Rezik is waiting. He's buying so much time. Now he springs into life at B. This is a big play. Reciprocity looking to try and somehow...
Oh my God!
But A's been capped as well. Someone from Rec needs to get over there. C is being taken. Rise
He needs to cap this hill. He gets it, but the decap is not going to matter. 3 seconds, 2 seconds. Oh! Wow! In the end, Reciprocity in a nail-biter of a round comes in clutch. And I have to say, my favorite new feature has to be the win condition at the top, letting us know who's going to win. You can see in that engagement how important that fight became. Rezik making the play on top of that neutral hill.
That was so smart. He bought himself just enough time. Reciprocity, a very well-placed round, or sorry, well-played round.
We heard Ribs talk about earlier how Rezik and Rushies are those, they broke out in Gears 4, right? And they're not the veterans on his team, so he's looking for these guys to come out in a new title and come out and succeed. Because in Gears 4, it took them a while to kind of, get a name, make a name for themselves and understand the esport. But now in a new game, they broke out last season, and we're seeing now how consistent they can be at a new title.
Well, that last round was a little heartbreaking to lose if you're Rise. You're now 2-0 down. I want to send it to a listening with Rise Nation.
They know. Hands to play. Icy's forward. Hands to play. Icy's forward. I picked up. Yo, they both came back and killed me, bro. Y'all need to kill Icy. Nice.
Down the back right now.
Down on the back, boys. Yeah, shot. Oh, you got it.
I'm dead, bro.
Marco, I'm up to one.
Oh, good.
They come up.
You're gonna get
Hurry up. Rushies has no more respawns this half.
Yeah, Rushies had no spawns, baby. No spawns.
Good job.
Idiot, bro. Idiot.
Nice, Drix.
Oh, yo, kill his kid, Rezik. Hop over, Drix.
Hello? Oh, I know, I can jump over that. Get me up on hill, hop on hill. Nice. They picked up Marshall. Work B, 2 dead work B.
Look for Rush.
I don't know, he ran, Yachty. He probably went back to home.
Kate, right? Rushie's Kate.
Yes.
Well, he's on that hill, like on B, on opposite side, their side of it, the H.
Can I wait to Marco?
I'm going to them.
I'm home.
I got Marcia.
What are we shocking and what are we pushing?
Push up top. Both of you guys. Shocking the Marco. Oh, I'm going top.
He's on the far left.
That's fine.
How J, boys, how J?
I need to reach you. Revive, guys, revive.
Go top. Man, back up. No, we're down, brother. We can't get a revive.
Bro, that's so sad.
Listen to each other, man. Just relax, bro. Like, we actually have to listen to each other. All jokes aside.
Alright, don't respawn, bro.
Enemy spotted.
I'm literally not respawning.
Yeah, the Marco has the hill.
Yeah.
And that's the Marco goes big.
Oh, I don't. Nice, Vic.
It's just you. Don't even. If he can.
He kills Rush. I'm literally.
Just fly at him. Just fly at Yachty.
Yeah, fly at Yachty.
Get your health back and fly. Probably getting flanked right now.
Our friend just spawned in. He just wasted his spawn.
That's good. He's an absolute idiot, bro.
Oh my god. It's 3 on Vic. That's fine.
Couple of key things to talk about from that listen in there with Rise Nation. Rec will win the round comfortably so. They go up 3-0. But you heard Rise Nation say, I'm not going to respawn in. They're already so low in respawns. A couple of players down to 2, a couple of players down to 1. But one of the key things you heard was, we made Rec waste at least 1 respawn. So if you're going to lose the round, you have to try and take at least a small advantage, a small victory. That could, maybe, towards the end of this first half, be one of those victories we're talking about.
It definitely can be. It's going to be so important. Teams got to find a flow early rounds where they need to decide, do we want to use them? Because
how many do you use? Right?
Yeah, as we were playing our games yesterday, we said, hey, round 1, we're not committing more than 2 lives. We're not going to commit more than 2 lives and burn them this early on into our series. Now, granted, at the end of every round, you do get 1 more life. and add it to your life bank. You know, technically too, because you do kind of spawn into the round.
Sure.
But still.
Well, one thing I would love to do is actually take a look at the scoreboard, if possible, and just see how our players currently stand in terms of respawns. So there's a look. Rushies is down to his final respawn. There's a couple available for Rise. Of course, Sleepy with 4, but Powers has played his life very, very well. Still all 5 respawns available for him.
And that would have been one of his criticisms because, you know, Powers has more of a Gears 4 in-your-face type of play style. And so if he rushes around this map too much trying to make plays and get too flashy, those respawns can burn very quickly, especially against a good team like Reciprocity.
They can definitely make you pay. We'll see, though.
Utilizing those Lancers, and I'll tell you, that's one weapon that I love. The Lancer, getting the change to the crosshairs, the hit markers. I love it. You're going to see that flash come out and hit that stun. Rushy's trying to make something happen, but Fran goes down as well. So that one respawn we talked about, Rushy's is going to be on his last life in this round.
Another question is, well, do you even want to invest it here, right? He may honestly just sit and hold and wait to see if maybe his team can make a play with Icy falling. You would assume the answer there is no.
Okay, so if Rushies dies in this round, it would be Rise's opportunity to have a man advantage and to close this one out and get one on the board. And I'm pretty sure having Coach Keem, the brains behind him, he's going to be calling that one out as well.
Of course, that's when you look at maybe trying to win the round based off a different condition, right? Points may be completely off the board. It may have to be team wipe. See if you can try and make a play across the map. Well, Detox has Icy in his sights. In terms of points, it is Reciprocity with the advantage here in round 4. It's a very fragile lead, though, 96 to 88, 2-1 hill advantage. It's a home hill setup currently for Rec. A and C both locked in. It's the mid-neutral B hill, which Rise still controls as Rushy springs into life. Drix goes down. Powers also goes down. 3 players up for Rise. Is this maybe an opportunity? He wins this fight. Very well could be.
Ooh, ice in his veins. Shock. Gonna just line that one up and connect. He's gonna try to have his teammates back. You see how these players, they're trying to take it wide, not stay in this one-shot range. On your screen, you can see the pellets of the shotgun connecting with the players to show how many of those shots are hitting.
And bear in mind, that's Franchise. Fran only has 1 respawn left. That's why he was running. He will fall this round. Shock making the plays, but the problem for Rise, they're making all the plays they want. They're down in points, and they're down in hill control as well.
So now, you're gonna have Rise Nation, they have to, Rushies has no lies either, so if they can find him, possibly have Drix try to harass him with that Botox, maybe get a long-range headshot, they're good, but Rise Nation knows that they have a man advantage. Rec in a position where they only need 1 hill. They're gonna try to fortify on B. Detox goes down, Rushy gets 1. He sees the flank coming, can he get a second?
It all comes down to defending B because C is gone. Now all of a sudden Rushy's down. It's Drix versus Sleepy. He's gonna go for the res. Shock wins the fight. B being capped up.
They gotta go. He can't cap this, and Shock knows it.
You have
Can he
13
be the
seconds.
hero?
13 seconds.
He doesn't even want.
I don't think he wants to fall. He's down to 2 respawns as well. He's trying to value
It
his
doesn't matter
life.
as long as he doesn't spawn into the round.
That's true.
But in his mind, he really didn't have a play because if he does make it to B, those 2 players off respawn, all they're gonna do is just go cap their home hill.
Right, right. As it stands, that's a 4-0 advantage now for Reciprocity. In terms of the respawns, Rushy is at 1, Franchise is also at 1. So despite a increased amount of respawns available for Rise, they're still losing these rounds.
So when it comes down to upgrading the weapons on your side of the map, every map is gonna have 2 weapon spawns on your side, closer to the home hill on each side of the map. To upgrade those, you gotta start with either smoke or a flash. Now, in Gears 5, we have only 2 players from each team being able to spawn with utility grenades, either a smoke or a flash, your 4th or your 5th. In Gears 4, all 4 players had smokes. All 5 players on each team had smokes and stuns. But when you're upgrading these secondary hills, you can kind of give your players in those positions who aren't spawning with those smokes and stuns, they have an option to go get that utility before you start upgrading those weapons, progressing into the map.
Well, it's a 4-0 advantage for Reciprocity, and this is now really where Rise need to spring into
Drop
life.
shot on the map as well, Ben.
A couple of players, as I said, down to their final life. And you might not see him again in this round, but it's Franchise going for the early flank. That's about a free kill as you can possibly get. And this is a strategy which Reciprocity love. The shock nades and just choking out the B hill.
They're so strong.
They're so smart with it. When drop shots placed there, they have that go-to plan. It works out so well. It worked out for them yesterday in their Swiss games, and it's worked out perfectly in this round as well.
You know, in Gears 4, I used to get upset sometimes when my ranked teammates would put shot grenades on the map. I'm like, come on, you can put something else down.
Hey, they're powerful this year.
But now in Gears 5, shot grenades are very useful with the pace this game is playing at.
Very useful indeed.
You see Rise Nation, they're trying to get to this home hill, use some of Reciprocity's strats from the previous rounds on them, seeing if it's going to work for them, but that drop shot is going to do the damage needed. Something very important, though, one of the biggest changes in Gears 5 Escalation, it is war zone rules compared to execution. Before, in Gears 4, if a player went down, that player can tap up and revive himself.
Yep.
But now, if a player goes down, he needs somebody to get over there and revive him. If not, he'll bleed out, but they also have the option to end their own life.
They sure do, as Rise Nation are trying to push, but there were so many downs. 2 players actually full here as well. Reciprocity with a flick of a switch can turn the momentum around. Drinks could be in all sorts of trouble. He tries to force the 1v1. He's done so well. He's still alive somehow. Fran now calling for a little bit of assistance. Again, he's down to his final respawn, but what a performance from him so far. 22 elims, 9 deaths as well. Reciprocity defend their home hill. They have full map control. This looking like another round they'll take.
Rushies is out. He cannot respawn, but also on the flip end, Avexi's has no more respawns. We got some 4v4 escalation action on the main stage. So, Rezik, he's going to have this height advantage at the U. Reciprocity will have B locked down in their home hill as well.
Time's ticking, guy. Time's ticking.
18 seconds until they win. Rise Nation don't have too much time to make a play. They need to decap the B hill and Reciprocity's home hill.
Oh, that can't happen. Shock with a nice opening, and then Rezik will fall. Fran is also down. Now it's going to come down to, can you defend your home hill for 12 seconds? What more resources do you want to invest? Icy's going to go down.
That
Rise
hurts.
Nation, they could just
Shock,
steal the
what you
round.
got for us? He gets the down, and there you go. Rise Nation in the nail biter at the end. They get one on the board.
It was looking very, very scary. But right at the last possible moment, Rise managed to get the trip cap in and take the round from Rec.
So the beauty about how the weapon tree and the meta has changed is that at halftime, you really can see a swing in momentum depending on your strategy when it comes down to placing weapons in the first half of the game. Now, we're going to end up seeing that home hills are going to flip, but you also have Rise Nation. They're going to be building like a shot grenade over there. They can also kind of turn that into an M-bar, a sniper, a long-range weapon. One of Rise Nation's greatest strengths is that they have some of the best sharpshooters in our circuit on their team. Detox, Avexis, Powers, Drix, they're all so talented with sniper, but on the flip end, Franchise, one of the best snipers in Gears history, can show them up a few times as well. Also, you got Icy and Rushy, so I do think at some point we are going to start seeing these long-range weapons get placed down on this map in the second half of it.
Well, a couple of players down to just their final respawn, the last round of the half.
And let's not forget the respawn timers are decreasing, so.
That's what I was going to say. With the respawns going lower, I mean, this is the rounds really where you want a bank of respawns available, and if you're Reciprocity, you don't have that.
Avexis and Rushies only has one. We know that for sure. And then on the flip end, Shock only has 2 for them. So they're going to have to be smart with this one, but being patient. The Shock's behind those players. They can't move back.
And this is that strategy I was talking a little bit about. That shock grenade can be so potent. Sleepy Time to set himself up for a nice little flank, but instead it's a 2v2.
He has the down, and he knows he doesn't have to play for the down if he don't want to, and Icy with the veteran play. He's going to hold his ground, and 3 downs on the side of Rise Nation. And to be honest with you, you could have left them all down.
I was going to say, you could have just completely left them. You don't need to finish them off. Put them on an even bigger timer, especially in a round like this where the respawn delay is so low. You leave them down because you know, what, teammate's going to come in and 1v3 and pick them all up?
Force them to make the decision. Say, hey, your next teammate can come get down if he wants. You can see where they're starting to crawl to and see where the next guy is coming from. It's so much more depth and escalation now than Gears 4.
And it's going to take some time for, I think, the players to kind of get used to those decisions as well, because it's something that they just don't think about right now. They're so used to, obviously, the previous game, but with so many changes, I think you'll see a very deep meta game develop as the season goes on. It's still, though, this round, advantage Rise Nation, 130 to 59 points. The home hill is finally taken away. Avexis has fallen. Bear in mind, Rushies is out of action this round. I believe Icy is also out as well. So if you're Rise, all you have to do here is play your numbers.
Avexis is out for good too as well. Now, I will give you guys a little tip at home. When you look at the sides of your screens, if you do see that red skull next to that player's name, that does mean that they're out of respawn. So they're out.
Yep.
As you can see on the side of Reciprocity, 3 of those players cannot spawn in.
It's a 4v2.
Sleepy time. Rezic, if they can clutch up, they can get the round for them, but let's see how great they can be in the 2v4.
I mean, at this point, you're looking for somehow 2 players to win 1v2s. The stun went
Now,
out.
Shock only has 1 life and Detox, so they can turn this into a 2v1 if they just kill Shock and Detox.
Well, unfortunately, Rezic will go down. The trip cap was coming through anyway. Rise will stop the first half bleeding. They will take the final 2 rounds, go in the half at 4-2. And as we kind of touched on at the start, in terms of the weapon placement, the weapon tree, there's a lot of new additions. The big feature is the map stays as is. It stays the same. The weapons you place in the first half are there in the second half. So when you're making those conscious decisions, you have to think about, well, how is the map going to look in the second half when our hills eventually do flip? And of course, our respawn timers go all the way back up this year. So back to those high respawns, and of course, all players now back with 5 lives available.
Highest kills on both teams, Rushies and Shock with 25 apiece. Reciprocity, those kills are spread out very nicely across the board for those guys showing their teamwork. Now, those shot grenades are gonna hit the back B area where the drop shot is located. So even though the neutral hill was was located in this area in the first half, you still see the team fight still having to be played out over there because of that drop shot.
So powerful.
That's gonna add more consistency to these teams playing. The one thing about Gears 4 that I always say, put a big heavy power weapon down right away, because you want a nice anchor on the map. It's something to start basing strategy around and build off of, so your team can just get better as time goes on. So
Oh, that was Gears 4.
Yeah.
Gears 5, there's going to be a lot of power weapons on the map, let me tell you.
you got a lot of options, and that's what we said earlier. Play to your team's strengths.
Yes.
Once you start reacting and playing to your opponent's strengths, you already are making the map difficult for yourself.
Couldn't agree more. Reciprocity here in the first round of the second half do have themselves a nice advantage. 2-1 hills. The point lead will swing back in their favor. That'll be key for as many players as possible, just to utilize as few lives as possible. Here's a look at the map and the setup currently from Reciprocity.
We saw that Marksa get evolved into a torque bow that was down there at the east side, so players is going to be able to fight for that one, and I do believe that torque bow does have a good amount of shots in it.
Yeah, it's 5, and that's going to be coming up in about 50 seconds, so bear that in mind. Drop shot is going to be exactly 50 seconds from now.
Woo! That's a headshot.
5-second difference.
Talk about precision aim.
Okay, well, there's 2. Trix is going to fall as well.
Thread the needle, Rushies.
Oh, see.
Thread the needle,
There's
Rushies.
number 3. Rushies, you want
Can
to
you
go for
get
4?
4?
Hey, this should be a new win condition, right? When one guy wipes the entire enemy team.
One more player.
You see him, go for it. You may as well, but no. Rack will do it the old-fashioned way.
I would step off the hill. There you go. Hey. Well, at that point,
comes through, but to your point, can you bait out respawns in that situation?
You can. Especially when he gets 4 in a row like that. Cap the hills, stay off a little bit and say, hey, you can slay out those last 2 players if you want to, especially, with the Lancer. You can just put out some team fire. But at the same time, you could say, hey, we don't want to risk that.
Now, it's expected that at the highest level, players won't make that mistake consistently. They'll realize we're 4 dead. They're trying to bait us out, right? Players aren't idiots. They know when something is awry. But if you can, one time, get a player to misclick just out of, just spamming X, for example. I just want to get back in the action. If you can just force one mistake, it really can be such a... I mean, look at the last round of the first half. It's a 4v2. That could have been a 4v3. It could have been a 3v... There's so many different ways where if you look back at your performance, you say, did I need to respawn there?
I will say I was going to give Rushies a little bit of criticism as well for that 4-piece, even though it was good. Only because that was the first time where I got to see that pace. He got 1 kill, got 2 kills, but he kept going and kept going. But in this game... somebody can. The shotgun hurts.
It really hurts.
If you don't stop, get those kills and stop, slow down a little bit, make sure your teammates there checking all these corners, you can lose an advantage playing at that pace.
Definitely can.
Reciprocity though, map 1, training grounds. They haven't lost it yet, and they're looking to go perfect so far in competitive Gears 5 gameplay.
Trying to shut down Detox, and Avexis could be in a little bit of pain. He knows he's going to be trapped to try to force a fight against Rezic, and Rezic will still find the kill. He should be picked up, so you don't have to worry too much. Drick's doing his best to just provide some cover fire, if nothing else. Get some damage down. Shock is still down. Fran may want to force another 1v1 with Powers, old teammates, and it's Fran that wins the fight. Powers goes down. Reciprocity in almost a great position here to put himself at map point.
Yeah. You know, one of the things that we saw in the last round, we saw that drop shot get blocked, by the way. The drop shot
locked, not blocked. It's locked for 3 rounds.
Yes, it got locked for 3 rounds. So in Gears 4, we did have a block where you could take off a power weapon that was on the map. Now you're just gonna disable and lock it for 3 rounds, but that is so influential on when you use it.
Yes.
So one of the best rounds is round 5, when you have that round 6 where nobody's kind of placing those weapons, and you can kind of get that same consistent round back to back.
Yep.
Also, towards the late game, if it's a long, strenuous game and you make it to round 10, use your block.
Yep.
Take something out, especially take your opponent's strongest power weapon off the map for the entirety of the series.
It's strange. I really feel like locks could actually be one of the most powerful things in the entire new weapon placement system. It can really change the map. As Reciprocity at 5-2 up. Of course, it is still first to 7 rounds.
40 seconds to make a play for Rise Nation. If that, USA just a little bit lower, because a little bit less, because you know, they're gonna have to decap both these heals at this point. Go for that trip cap.
You just gotta make a play.
They're gonna go for it now. Is he gonna hop over? He does hop over into that hill, so he's gonna be able to decap it. 4 Lancers of Reciprocity looking down. They do have 1 down. The revive chain is trying to come out, trying to play their lives. That's gonna be a good flash grenade. He hops over, does not win that fight. Franchise shuts him down.
And that's just so smart from Reciprocity. That is so smart. They recognize, let's stack the mid-neutral hill. 4 Lancers out. We'll get it down. Right, we're guaranteed to get the first player down just with good team fire. As soon as that down comes through, you force panic from Rise. They don't know, do we go for the revive? Do we try and force a fight? Do we try and give ourselves a 3v3 here? What's the play? And the way Rec played it, just again, so intelligently, so passive, cool, calm, and collected. They let Rise come to you, force the mistake, then use numbers to give yourself even more numbers and win the fight.
Now, coming into our weapon selection, we're going to be having Reciprocity, the winning team, making the first pick. They choose to upgrade their flash grenade in the corner to a Marksa, a weapon they can bring down for that torque bow fight. We saw how they were set up defending that E-hill from Rise Nation with all 4 players up there. Just imagine with a Marksa in their hand, what they can do on a flip in.
Right.
Rise Nation, they're building towards the same similar strategy to fight on that side of the map. But if you can control that half, you'll have some good power weapons to work with going into the late game.
Well, respawns available for both teams, relatively even. I believe there's only 1 player less than 4. That's going to be Detox, who sits with 3 available.
I will say that, granted, Reciprocity does have a great advantage having that Marks on their side of the map, but let's not forget that Drix does have a Botok in their hands as well.
True.
And that Botok in his back pocket does a lot of damage.
Oh, that's just some good shots coming out of Rushy's meat shield there. Team fire as well. That's going to be 2 dead. Oh, see, sign up number 3. Powers will fall. And
Sayonara, hit him with the emo. Nice try.
The disrespect.
That is, so just so you know, that's going to be the funnest thing in rank. Just sniping people and just emoting right after, but like, you tried.
Well, E-hill's been broken, but this feels more and more like Rise trying to hang on. The Reciprocity tempo of the map has just been so high, so fast, and it's mainly part of this young man. He's looking for number 35. There it is.
Don't do it to him, Rushy.
36, of course you can. It's Rushy's another double kill. He's literally been a walking double on the map. Every fight he's taken at an advantage or disadvantage, it doesn't seem to matter. Shock will have to try and push him, but unfortunately for Rise and Shock,
Vexys has that torque bow, and he's looking in that direction of Rushy's and Co. The neutral hill is going to be in favor of Rise Nation. One thing that you can also do as well that's going to be very important, so you can also cut the weapon respawn timers in half of any weapon you choose on your side or the neutral or across the center line of the map. And that's going to be important, especially if you are able to build up a boom shot, a drop shot, or a sniper on your side of the map, and you cut that respawn timer to, you know, just a minute.
Yeah, can be massive.
Yes.
Can really be big. And let's not forget the drop shot is, of course, still locked out for 2 rounds, so that's not going to have any effect. The new talk is up in less than a minute, 55 seconds to be precise, but the fight's going on over towards F, and so far, Rise seem to have just survived, barely by the skin of their teeth, but damage has been done in terms of points. It's a 183 to 100-point game. Sleepy's made the heads-up play to rotate over towards the mid-neutral. He now has himself a 1v1, but the support shots are there for Rise. Sleepy wants to just try and give himself an advantage in the fight. He will be unable to do. 24 seconds. Rise, you gotta make a play or map 1's done and dusted.
And that was the fight that Sleepy had to take. You got a guy lancering over your head, one in front of you. You got to try to make something happen quickly. If you just sit there, then you know that Lancer is gonna, you know, be so influential. But 29 seconds to Reciprocity gets to match point. It's 6-2 so far. So, but you see our graphic is reading the future. Let's see if he really is that good, because we need to get him on an analyst desk. Reciprocity. Are they gonna take it?
Yeah, they're set up so perfectly here. Rise need an absolute miracle, and I don't think they're gonna be able to get it. E is neutral. Icy has support of his teammate. They only need to hold their home hill. That, ladies and gentlemen, will be GG Map 1. Reciprocity turn up that heat at 7-2 victory.
I want to give some love to that man behind him, Fatal Strike.
Coach?
You know, yes. One of the brains of this team, somebody who is so passionate, who works so hard to go above and beyond and do all the little meticulous things that sometimes gamers don't want to do to be the best, to beat teams like Tox. Fatal does that.
It definitely brings a lot to that Reciprocity squad, but it's a good start, and you heard the analyst desk talk a little bit about it. The map vetoes, you have 2 new maps coming through for Reciprocity. It's a feel-good map set. If you are a Rec fan, they take map 1. Can they close it out? We'll find out after this with game 2.
I love that, I love that, baby. Good job, baby. Yo, just like that. Yo, just like that. Just like that. Yo, Rush.
Give me one more. That's how good that was. Let's go.
Good shit, baby.
Shotguns out, Icy. 4 kills in a row.
Wow, he gets 1. He gets some help and he gets a second. Sleepy, big play by him. That's massive. Rushies gets another kill.
Rushie's standing up and showing them that he's the real deal.
The troops have rallied for Reciprocity.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the ELEAGUE Summer Series Invitational. Got some Gears 5 action, Benson Blaze up at the Boost Mobile casting desk. Map number 1, in my mind, goes as I honestly expected it to. It's a new map. We've talked about it. The desk has talked about it. Reciprocity, how quick they are at learning with the veterans they have on their team. Comfortably take map 1. But one interesting thing that we were just kind of talking about in that brief break there was we heard in the pre-game interview, right, from Rise Nation, was a Vex. He said, as long as we don't mess up our weapon placements. And we talked about just how deep and how complex this new system is and just how many chances there are to make big plays with it. But yet we kind of both agreed.
Yeah.
They did sort of misplay in their weapon placement.
And what they misplayed on is, because this happened to us a few times where in Gears 4, you prioritize the center line weapon slots first, making sure you kind of get your main weapon there. We saw Rise Nation slowly start to build up towards that drop shot early on, but on the flip end, Reciprocity said, oh no, they got the first placement on one of their homes. And so you saw in the second half, Reciprocity having that marks on their side of the map, because they didn't care too much exactly what Rise Nation wanted to put on their home spots, on their home hills. They said, no, but we're going to build up ours.
Play your own game.
Play your own
That's
game.
Gonna be so important. But we had, of course, for the very first map that we had this tournament, it was a new one. Well, map 2 is going to be no different. Another new map coming through in this series. And again, I hate to be that guy, but I feel it's advantage Reciprocity. I really do.
Especially on a map like District, it's a few key locations here. You're going to see this one green room. There you go, right there on your screen to the right, that whole spot. You know, players sitting there with that Lancer, and they just tag everybody up, and just the suppressing fire is so good.
What was it they were saying? I think they were bragging themselves. Weren't they saying, oh, we feel like we're the best District team already?
Ooh, is that what who? Rise or Rec?
No, Rec. I think Rec was kind of...
I think they were talking about training, because they haven't lost on training grounds yet.
Okay.
When it comes down to District, they lost on District to Ghost. Actually, no, they've won their districts all day long. Yeah, you're right. It was District.
I'm pretty sure they were actually specifically, when I was speaking to them, they said, yeah, we feel like
you're right about that. It was District, not training grounds.
I mean, I think the key here is when they played the new maps, they've won the new maps. When they've played the old maps,
Just look at that main stage. Look at our guards on the main stage. Say, hey, we're locking it down.
It's pretty cool.
Rise the cog team.
And what's funny is,
Reciprocity the swarm.
the production team here doing obviously a wonderful job as ELEAGUE always do. But during that break, even the producer saying, I like that Rushies guy. He's pretty good.
He says, I'm a new fan now, you know. Hey, I don't know if Rushies made some new fans at home. Let us know, but we're hopping into map number 2. It's District Rise versus Reciprocity.
I feel like you almost have to start with Rushies. For me, he really had such a solid performance, and there's almost a kind of stigma around him as a player that he's going to be, one of those young, fast-paced players who's going to make mistakes. The reality of the situation is he's pretty mistake-free so far.
Smart by Reciprocity. What they chose to do, instead of going towards the neutral hill at Cinema, we saw Rise Nation rush 3 people there. But on the flip side, Reciprocity rushed right across through, looking like they almost wanted to play towards home hills and cut back towards the right and get a 2-cap early on. Because you can decide which side of the map you like better and stick to that side.
Of course, for map 2, Reciprocity going to be the red team. Rise will be blue. And both teams currently with just their home hills. The fight for B still continues, and it's going to be Franchise on this side of the map. He's currently found himself 2 kills. He looks for lucky number 3. Will he be able to get it? No, he won't. It's former teammate Powers that shuts him down, and honestly, with that kill, the trip cap could come through. If you wreck, don't spawn in, it would have been a waste of a life.
It's one thing that I want to explain to the new viewers out there when you guys hear me say a home hill setup. When I say home hill setup, I mean controlling the A hill and the C hills, because that's the home hills of both teams.
Right.
In Gears of War 4, we saw sometimes that instead of holding a typical setup of your home hill and the B hill and kind of having that mid-map control where you can sometimes take a shorter route, and as you see at the bottom half of the map where those 2 slots are, going from home to home and just control that whole bottom half and get your points that way. So we do see teams have that variety, and that's why rotations are so important. If you see a team stacked on one side of the map, you have options on the other.
You definitely do. Again, to reiterate,
oh, they're going to go for that middle again. It looks like this is the first one of the round.
Well, this is Reciprocity.
Oh.
Rec just went boom, round 1.
Yes, they did. They went boom on Cinema. But it's weird because they didn't fight it last time. The first round, they didn't go towards Cinema and fight it at all, and Rise Nation have rushed 3, so now Reciprocity definitely has to fight it. But the thing is that when you do put a boom shot on the center line right away, your opponents cannot upgrade to the boom shot on their home hills.
Yes.
So that is super important, but they can upgrade to the drop shot.
Indeed. As the fight now down low will be a long one. Seems like advantage instantly for Rise. Powers is managing to get his hands on the boom, but the kills are going in favor of Rec, but you can't body stack. I see him find out the hard way. Powers with a double with the boom. The mid-neutral hill should be under Rise possession shortly, but instead they may have to try and fight this 2v2. It's a tough one, but Shock and Powers make it look simple. They'll claim the mid-neutral, but at what cost? They do lose their home.
Okay, so we're going to see Reciprocity in that home hill setup, controlling A and C. Shock's trying to cut back down there towards the bottom half of the map, help his team get their home hill back. Sleepy is in a difficult spot, but he does have some support towards the back. But he's not going to be. That's one of those situations where you just leave him down.
Yep.
That was a hey, leave him down situation. You're in enemy territory. I got 4 teammates behind me.
Yep.
You can choose to end your own life.
Yeah, and again, I think that's just going to be force of habit, if nothing else, right? You're so used to being in a situation where you just got to find the kill as quickly as you possibly can and go from there. Now the option to just kind of leave players down, let them end themselves, essentially. I feel like it's more humiliating that way, too.
And so we used to call it timing a player out back in the Gears of War 3 days when it was when we were playing King of the Hill competitively. And that's just because we want to keep them out of play as long as possible. And that also adds a little bit of extra time to their respawn timer as well.
It sure does. Well, you keep a player out, especially in the early rounds when the respawns are so high, the better. Frank cleans up a double. Also going to grab his teammate up as well. As it stands, Rec lose round 1. Rise convincingly took that, but here in round 2, it's a 2-to-1 hill setup, 124-95, and the key piece of information for how the rest of this round is going to go, boom shot up in 20.
And you can now see that timer if you hit, if you bring up your overhead map, if you're a player, is right there at the top, and you see Reciprocity in play to pick that one up. This time, Rise Nation, they have 4 players, all 5 players spawned up, and they do find 2 kills, but the boom will be in favor of Reciprocity. Rise should just try to go make a play on a home hill because I don't think B will be a good play for them. But they are there, and they did get the boom, and Vexi's got it. So they did win that fight. And my question is, was it Rise just being super aggressive pushing out, or did Reciprocity just overcommit?
Well, maybe a little bit of both. I thought for a moment Rec could have overextended towards
I saw him push over towards that side.
But there was a player actually stopping him. Not sure who it was from Rise, but they held their ground. Currently still mid-map. Skirmish going on, but Avexis rotates back down lower B. The lead is 212-176. Again, still in favor of Rec. But if it stays this way, Rise will take the round in 30 seconds. So it's Reciprocity that need to be proactive here. They need to be the playmakers.
Since everybody has their own set of lives, even any boom kill is just as important. Beforehand in Gears 4, you can get a boom kill, but it really didn't make a difference. It really didn't hold weight if you didn't get the right boom kill in a situation.
Trip cap coming through. Rec, have they just misplayed? Well, might be the case. The round is over.
Yeah.
2-0, Rise with a nice advantage.
Yeah, once they lost that boom shot fight, it was it.
Yeah, that round is pretty much over at that point. A couple of players from Rec wisely choosing not to waste any more lives. Really just kind of concede the round, if you will. Again, I think the phrase that we'll start using is maybe the eco round, essentially, right? Where you know you don't have that many lives to spare. You just want to get the round over and done with as quickly as you possibly can.
Rec had in their 7-1 win on map 1, they had 5 dominations to 7 rounds won off of time. And this one has been 2 dominations going towards Rise Nation. You know, they've been staying aggressive, they've been getting their kills, and they've been controlling the map. But also, let's look at these respawn lives, because it's pretty good across the board, pretty even. Now, this could be worse in round 1. With Rec losing 2 lives, they could have way less respawns, investing more on some of those rounds that they did not win, but they're pacing themselves because this game will escalate.
Yep, and nice play on words there, guy.
You know how we do.
Yeah, like that. Again, that last round, just choosing not to spawn up for a couple of them, just to keep the respawns as close as they possibly can. But his powers again, and it's Rise Nation again that get control of the boom shot. He scurries away.
Oh, is he flanking his opponent's side?
Nope, that's his home hill.
That is his home hill. It's just that Rec, they push through.
Well, can you try and force a bad boom? Power.
Smart. He let him go. He knew he had to get the home hill. So he chose not to even engage in franchise because this was the play, and that was extending around for his team.
One of those round-saving plays. Shipcap was teased by Reciprocity, but only briefly before Power sprung into life. So boom is down. Won't see that for at least a little bit. But still, the 2-1 hill advantage.
Okay, so you take a look at it, 5v5 situation. You're gonna have Reciprocity pressed up towards Cinema. They are controlling a 2-cap currently. Now, we'll see. We saw them hold this setup when Boom was about to spawn up last time, but they lost it in the last 10 seconds. And that was just so heartbreaking for them, and they lost that last round. The flash comes out, the aggression comes through from Rise, but the kills do not come. Can they finish it off? They get one, but Drix, he responds. Now in the Michio fight, he gets the second as well. Is it a third in the area? It's going to be Franchise, the 2 veterans between him and Drix. 1v1 engagement. Here comes the help and great teamwork by Rise Nation to get control over this B hill.
It was only a 1v1 for a brief second before Shock came to assist Drix, forced the 2v1. Use their numbers wisely. Overextending. Our Reciprocity. Sleepy's trying to make the play. He found one, he finds 2. That is big for Rec.
Great response.
It allows them to at least keep the lead in terms of hills and keep the pressure on Rise. 30 seconds, Rec will win their first round here in map 2.
And now you're seeing that home hill setup there. Doing good to make sure they get those points. And now the trip cap domination is gonna be a 1v1 towards the B hill. Can they make it happen? They do come off of it. Rise Nation, Reciprocity gets the kills that they need at their opponent's home hill, and they're in a beautiful position to win. This is a situation where if any players are dead on Rise Nation, you don't use your respawns.
Yep, you do not spawn, and Powers was waiting so patiently. He had a lot of trust in his teammates to break B. Rec win their first round. Got a game here in map 2.
The beauty, well, one of Reciprocity's greatest strengths, and especially it comes from having so many veterans on their team, having Fatal Strike, Franchise, Sleepy Time, Icy, is that you have composure in these pressure situations. They've played in some of the most intense games in Gears history, so just being down 2 rounds will not break them there in that sense. Keeping their composure, taking a look at this weapon tree, you're gonna see the boom shots already down, but now players starting to get some weapons on their home sides of the map. Reciprocity, since they did put a weapon down on that center line to start, that will mean that their home, whatever weapon they're going to be leveling up on their side of the map will be late a pick.
We'll wait and see just how that early boom pick, it was round 1, they went for it, what effect that's going to have.
You got shot grenades on the side of Reciprocity to use for that boom shot fight, and flash grenades on the other end for Rise Nation.
Well, we heard from Rise Nation in map 1. I'd love to hear from Reciprocity after their first round win. Let's go to a listening with Rec.
Shot there, you have to get inside. Yeah, can shoot the middle. Can shoot that middle. Bex is hurt.
We have it. One's flying you mid, I think.
Yeah, he is.
I need help, get out. I need help, get out.
I got a mid.
Flying across.
I got shot to the middle. Back it inside down. He's down.
I got one.
I'm hurt. I'm hurt.
On the side.
He's not
There's two of them.
He's not leave, bro.
Their backside of boom.
Right for the right side.
He's still there, boys. He's still there.
I died in our home, guys. They can OE. One person.
I'm gonna go back home.
Only one.
I got stunned. You're gonna get crossed.
Nice stun, guys.
He has a mark.
Nice. One more. Yes, he does.
Can we kill this kid and spawn, bro?
I mean, we can if you want.
He pushed switch and go.
Yo, can we get our home?
On our home. Yes.
I came back. I'm in our office.
He's running back. He's on the cover.
We have B captain already.
Push in already. He has a mark.
He knows you. He can see you there.
No, I'm not with you, Yachty.
Guys, you can back up. I'm coming, Yachty.
He's in front of me. He's in front of me.
Go left. Okay, yeah, you're good.
Shit, Cap.
Do that. Numbers,
One's in their office. Can
we kill the other guy on second half or no?
Yo, he's in a crack house.
One's in their office.
He has a mark, so guys, he can shoot you guys. I can't do much about it right now.
I know.
We're good.
He's right here. I'll mark.
Bro, get initial damage when they come down these fucking steps, bro. They don't take it for free.
Like the far left side, like the one.
Okay, I see.
Over there.
I'll let you know if they owe you guys. There's one to my left though in the house. Can't really do much.
Their house is hurt.
Remember, we're still in the listening.
No, listen. They might do an OE, bro. They already have one kid halfway over.
Do we have boom or no? They're coming right now. I'm going to
30 seconds.
take my house. Somebody come in.
They are. I got it. They're gonna OE 100%.
Okay, yeah, I see one already attempting.
I'm you're by yourself.
No, I said we give it up against boom. I said we give it up against boom.
Yeah, play for boom. Yes. If anything, we'll give it up, play for boom. Hold the house.
Yo, cutting through mid, guys. Hold
the house, Nick.
Shot there, guys. Cross one, guys. Hello?
Find me in my house.
I'm coming.
Okay, from middle, Rush.
Stay up, Nick.
Come, baby.
One shot on me. 80.
One is trying to OE.
Job,
baby. One is trying to OE. Cross him from the house. Mid-map.
But I need help. Rush needs help. 2 on Rush.
Yeah. He's right, baby, on you.
Okay. I'm up.
He's one shot.
I'm press.
I got him.
I got Rush. I have one.
I'm gonna be. I'm here.
Rotating. Rush in the one, but he's up.
They're not spawning up, guys. Relax.
Okay, I could cross him. Relax.
Don't die to him. Bad time. We're good.
Good job, guys. Let's go, boys!
Keep that shit up.
Fight, Kevin. Good job, baby!
Just like that, baby.
Finish that fight, baby. Right back in the game. Keep an eye on their respawns right now.
The communication from Reciprocity. I mean, I know it's the first event, right? But that's the best listening we've had so far.
Beautiful. And you know what it is? It's this game. Because the pace of it was so slow, they didn't sound so chaotic. They were calm. They were setting up. Each team had time to prepare for that next team fight at Boom Shot, and it worked out so well.
And I love the reaction they had as well, right? They were planning for what Rise was going to do. We know they're going to OE. And then you hear Rushies make the play. Well, let's just play for new Boom. And it's, and you see all the players transition across the map, and that's the play that won them the round.
Something important happened right there. The one reason, I told you guys in map number 1 how powerful those shot grenades were. Reciprocity placed 2 well-pushed shots to pretty much guarantee a Boom pick every time. But now we're going to see that they evolved their shot grenades into a single drop shot. And so let's see how will they use this single drop shot to push over and get that beat, and to get that Boom shot.
You have a lot of power weapons on that side of the map now. That's for sure for Rec. We'll see the fight for Boom, though.
Oh, that's right on his face.
Underway. Rushies may now want to try and push through. Powers has already managed to take Boom, though. And the Vexies shuts down Icy as well, but the trades should come through in a brief moment.
He can do this, especially he has help.
Well, there's the help in the Boom misses.
Oh,
he got him straight at him. That's a double for him.
The flank comes through. Rushies with the heads-up play, bringing some of that aggressiveness that his team loves to stay and keep pressure on Rise Nation.
And there's one really interesting thing when we talk about Reciprocity from their games yesterday. When you look at how they went, it seemed consistently like they were having what I would like to call a mid-game power spike, right? Around the midpoint of the game, they were winning rounds in a flurry. And just kind of watching and looking, the way they're setting up around big weapons and using shock grenades when other teams aren't. Like, if you look back in map number 1, they forced Rise to put shocks down. They had to because of just how strong Rex were. Now you look at the map, Rise had to do exactly the same thing, but Rec are one step ahead. So now they have the drop shot placed, and all Rise have are the shock grenades. It's almost genius.
It really is. And instead of leveling up one of their home hills, they're pretty much committing to saying that we want to play for Boom Shot and Cinema. That is the team fight that we want on this side of the map. Because even if we don't fight for the B hill on the second half, we can fight for home hills.
Exactly that. So it's very, very well played weapon placements thus far from Reciprocity. And you never know, if this round goes in favor of Rec, maybe Rise are forced to use their lock, right? Just to see if they can try and make a play heading into the
round 5.
First off.
Yeah, the next round. This actually, if Rise Nation did lose this round,
this would be the perfect time to do it.
It'd be a great opportunity to use that disable on round 5. That way it can go through round 6 where we don't get, round 7 where we don't get weapon placements.
Trip cap being teased again from Rec, but damage done in the round. 100-point lead over that now. 8 is being pressured. The round surely will go to Reciprocity. It's just which win conditions you want to take. It seems inevitable as the players back away. Just secure the B hill. You win off 1. No one even close. Rec go up 3-2. And now this is where, in my mind, if you're Rise, you may want to consider using that lock.
Because Reciprocity, after the first round, they kind of got their strategy. They got the weapons that they want, and it's been good for them. That mid-round spike, as you talked about, and that comes from strategy. It's a game of chess escalation. And sometimes...
Last year was chess. This is 3D chess.
It really is. You're actually in the game. So you're going to see. Let's see what's going to end up happening. So far, neither team has chosen to use any of the utility. Nobody's giving each other extra smokes or extra pistols.
You
but
say that.
Yeah, I say that now, but we're going to finally see on this end that on the right side of your screen, Reciprocity is going to give themselves a smoke grenade. Well, they have an option. That player has an option to choose if he wants the smoke or the stun.
Right.
So every time he dies, he can say, you know what? I want a smoke grenade in this situation. No, you know what? My team needs a stun. We need to be aggressive in these last few seconds of the round. Or we're like, hey, this guy in host spot, he's crossing, he's being annoying. We can't break the setup. I need to throw a smoke in front of his face. Now, one thing about the smoke now in Gears 5, it blows up instantly wherever you throw it. So no little beep, beep, beep. You know, it had a little delay on it, but now it can be used so effectively.
Well, that was good. We should hire you to do sound effects for next year.
I do it every time you do play-by-play.
It's currently in terms of
they call me Boomer out here.
It's a Vexies down to, well, now his final life. So if he falls again, it will be a 5v4.
So we see the shot grenades. None of these players can really touch these shot grenades, and this is why we see Rise get super aggressive, but Powers a little bit too overzealous. Shock backs out, the bow tie doing some damage in the middle. That checked that player's life. He had to slow down. Shot getting angled out. You see Reciprocity's going super wide. Don't want to give him any chances, but now if Vexies is out of position, Rec, they have the man advantage at Vexies. Does he want to stand this fight or back out? Ooh, that hurt. I felt that one.
Oh, Icy will fall, and to your point, going super wide, when the guy refers to when he says that is the spacing, right? When you're in a 2v1 fight, you don't want to get too close. You don't want to put yourself in one-shot kill range of the opposition. You want to always make sure you can put down an equal amount of damage as Rise look to maybe take this round. It was set up so perfectly for Reciprocity.
Get off me.
Will fall. Only one player up. It's Icy. He wins his fight, prolongs the round, and bear in mind, it is the last round of the half anyway, so your respawns
burn all your respawns.
Everything. You got to get it back in the game here if you're Rec.
And also, with the respawn timers dropping down, they are now currently at 11 seconds. So this is the perfect time where you're starting to see the round escalate. All of these players using the respawns in their bank to get this one on the board for their squads.
You absolutely have to. And in terms of timers, well, drop shots up in 50, booms up in 30. As it is, it's Rise that control the boom shot side of the map. Of course, that's over towards the mid-neutral hill. And you can see because of that, Rec have said, well, we may now actually have to play for home hills. The problem is, Rec are falling. Icy so weak. He somehow stayed alive. Fran will drop, but Drix is there to be traded out. Unfortunately, Icy falls as well. It's trades on trades on trades, and the lead is a big one, 161 to 85, but a trick cap coming through. Rec looking to try and steal the round, denied. Vexies with a win against Sleepy Time to keep Rise alive.
They have plenty of time. I'm going to try to look at the life banks. Franchise on his last life, 1 life just for sleepy time. So Franchise has 1 more life, and sleepy time has 2 lives to use in this round.
Here's the key. Avexis was down to his last life at the very beginning of the round. The first boom shot actually connected with him. Since then, he has not died. He has played a flawless round. The problem, though, there's still a big chance that Reciprocity can win this round. 50 seconds with a 2-to-1 hill advantage. They will win this round.
Oh, Shock is hurt. If you're Rezic, you got to prep, play up on that, knowing that your teammate put some damage in on him, and he did exactly just that. Got the kill on Shock, so that's what you wanted to see. Franchise has a drop in his hand, over the top, can't connect with it. But
Shocks are down too.
You look at the time, Swarm wins in 36 seconds, so they can hold 2 if they want to. And for a team like Reciprocity, understanding that, you know how strong their slow game can be. You're gonna see this Shock hit the dirt, but Shock is gonna be the one that goes down.
And that's a nice double as it stands. Swarm still win the round in 47. When the Sea Hill caps, that time is gonna go down by half. 20 seconds now. Rise still don't have control of their home hill. Rushy shuts down Drix. Detox falls as well. Reciprocity with the trip cap domination give themselves a 4-2 advantage here in map 2. And they're letting them know.
This is where they excel. As you've seen, the Gears Summer Series, Sleepy Time, bringing some of those swift moves onto the main stage.
I see, letting them know. That can't happen, folks. That cannot happen.
Now, Rise, so, folks, this is single elimination, so y'all know, okay?
Oh, yeah, you lose your app.
I just wanted you to know that. Okay, no double elimination. It's a single elimination tournament. $10,000.
I'm gonna say this.
58.
An upset will happen in round 1.
It will. It will.
It just will.
Rise Nation got to dig deep. They started this one off very well. They've only won 3 rounds so far in this matchup compared to Reciprocity's 11 from the 2 maps so far.
Rec, as we said, with the advantage. But at the half, our hills will flip sides essentially on the map. Our respawns go all the way back up to the max, and your respawn count is reset back to 5 apiece. Shock trapped in a corner, nowhere to hide. Icy shuts him down. Icy's done well to find 2, and he's looking for number 3 as well. Trying to force the fight, lands 1 shot, but has a teammate there as well. Again, the spacing just too good. Icy finds 3. Detox on the other side, he's gonna fall. It was the boom, which again, remember, weapon placement, you put it down, it's on the map for good.
Rise Nation could have a better placement on their shots.
I mean, to be honest, this round's over.
Yeah, this round's over for Reciprocity.
But again, I want to point out, you heard Avexis say it at the start in the pregame interview with Jordan, as long as we don't mess up our weapon placement, we'll be fine. You're playing against a team who's kind of new game IQ, as I'll call it. Whenever a new game comes out, you expect to be through the roof. That's going to be the story. Every time we talk about Reciprocity, no matter who they play against, they have a very tough bracket, of course. But that's going to be the storyline, is we expect them to learn early. You can't make mistakes, especially mistakes which, in this game, will cost you massively.
This Marks is about to get turned into a snipe, I will say. 100%. On the side of, because the thing is, Reciprocity, they actually chose to disable. So they disabled the drop shot on the side of Reciprocity. That's what Rise Nation did for their placement. Now, I said they need to get better with these shocks. These shock grenades, you saw when Reciprocity used them, they blocked the only 2 pathways that Rise Nation can take to that boom shot. All Reciprocity has to do is throw them in the exact same locations and pick up the boom shot.
And I want to point out why that's significant that they choose to do it now. Reciprocity with 5 round wins, they're not yet at map point, so this block could bring them all the way back to 5-5.
That shock grenade also blocks their own team from picking up that boom shot, but I think Shock realizes that he's getting there a little late. They can't get in there, but he still gets no downs with that utility.
Yep, not good enough usage. That's for sure.
You would think Shock can use the shot grenades, eh?
I mean, clues in his name, right? you would hope so. As Drix somehow stayed alive a little longer there than you would have thought he would, but the boom is used. The flank's coming through. Detox will only be able to find 1 before he inevitably falls as well. Another very, very quick round coming out of Reciprocity.
He only missed 1 bullet on that one.
If you Rise, do you even want to respawn? This could be bait. Honestly, well, as the players fall, maybe not.
As a caster, one thing I do love is that, and actually I just noticed it, when the shotgun pellets hit, it's also some shadowed areas there for the pellets that did miss, that didn't hit as well.
It's cool,
So,
right?
yeah, that is...
Some nice new features as well. We didn't even talk about the little bit of the mini-map down bottom right.
I am so excited for our new season. We just announced the Pro League, more regions as well. And with these quality of life changes made to Gears of War as a whole, the win conditions, the shotgun, the hit markers, we're going to have such a deep talent pool of professional Gears of War players next season.
I mean, the game itself.
I cannot wait for all of the action to get underway.
I think that's the key. The game itself is now so deep. There's so many different layers. There's so many ways players can make mistakes, right? You don't expect them to at the top level, but hey, every professional athlete at a time will make a mistake, and it can cost you a series, it can cost you a tournament. And this round, which looked like it was going to be Reciprocity's through and through early, now all of a sudden, Rise have applied the pressure. It's 2-1 hill advantage. They control mid-neutral and their home hill as well. The pressure is coming through on D. Trip cap could be imminent. His Trick's going to be able to make a play. He's looking at hit a little bit of a flank. Shock's already there. Again, the trip cap comes through. And this is where if you're wreck, do not bleed those respawns unless Icy's able to make the play, which he won't. They back away. They stay alive.
Ooh. But Rise, they get another one on the board, and that's what they need. They don't want to go down 6-2.
You can't.
You don't want them to get to match point, because when you see your opponent, they got that 6 on their side, and they're just sitting comfortably, and they're laughing and giggling, and they're just beating up on you. It's hard to come back from that sometimes.
And again, that's why I think that lock pick that they had last round is so important. From 5-2, 3 rounds out, it's 2 rounds further. It could honestly bring them back to a tie game.
Exactly.
It could be 5-5. It was really, really smart timing on their part. But the problem is,
Reciprocity gonna start just loading up their home hills.
but will Rec have a lock as well?
Ooh, and they're gonna lock
Look at that!
Yeah.
Look at that! Just like that. That was unbelievably predictable. Drop shot, put down.
It's gonna be a
drop shot, locked out.
It's gonna be a 1-round difference. That 1-round difference will be the game changer if Rice Nation does win these next 2 rounds. The round 11, the round 12 is going to be important to see who can kind of get to that match point. So, but after that, you know, hey, the in-game is getting crazy.
Wait, look at the top side of the map. Can we just appreciate there's 2 drop shots and a boom on the top side?
Yeah, right? Welcome to Gears 5.
It's going to get scrappy. It's going to get very, very scrappy. Recto still with the advantage. Boom picked up by Rezik. Rushies opens up. There's the boom kill. Fran shuts down Detox as well. Drix last man up. He has to stay alive. If he falls here, round is over. Vexy spawns in time though. So Drix can maybe just play a little more aggressive over towards the B hill. Lands 1 good shot. There's 2. Sleepy goes down.
Now, you're going to see this neutral hill start to get capped up. Drix got some pressure on him, taking some damage from that Lancer. That back A, he only connects with about 40% of that spread. E-Hill goes in favor of Reciprocity. You're going to see Rise Nation choose to put that Botox in the back of Detox hands, just getting some good solid shots with it. That Botox spawns with 12 shots in the clip. Good to know, but he's going to fall there on that engagement.
Yep, Franchise the one who was able to find the kill, and 2 players are down. And you can see they're scurrying into our corner. Reciprocity, now they have a big, big advantage. And let's not forget, if you have players down, think of it this way as well. If you're trying to win a round based off a full team man wipe, you can hunt down the other players and then go back and kill the down players. Another little cheeky method which could assist you in winning a round of escalation. For some of the newer viewers out there, you don't always have to finish those kills for a wide variety of reasons, but now once again, Avexis and Rise pushing forward. They're trying to sniff out Reciprocity's home hill.
This is a situation where Rise Nation needs to not get too antsy, and especially Detox. He only has 3 lives remaining so far in this round. So with that being said, he wants to play his life more patient. One thing that was happening to me when we kind of did our practice games, I was playing more of a front spine, and I realized I used a lot of my lives early on.
Yeah,
but at that point, I asked my home hill player to switch spots. I said, hey, can I cap these homes, build up my lives a few rounds, and you go help them, and we just kind of adjust our strat just a little bit.
Sometimes you
got to switch positions, especially if you're one of your main fraggers, just because you need more lives in those team fights.
And Rise Nation doing such a good job, and it's Avexis that springs into life when Rise Nation need him the most. He's somehow still alive, dancing and darting around Reciprocity's home hill. Finally, he drops, but Rise have done such a good job of bringing themselves back into this one. They will now take the lead with a 2-1 hill setup. This is looking good for Rise to close that gap once again.
If they can just be, if they can just kind of hold this setup, as you see on your screen, they will win in 40 seconds. Marks are on the map. Powers is probably going to pick that one up. No, he's choosing to go out with his pistol. He just needs to get to his teammates as soon as possible and help them out.
Here's the scary thing, though. Rec do not want to bleed too many lives. A lot of them are down now to their final 2 respawns. Of course, they will get 1 more, but Rise are winning the race in terms of holding their respawns a little bit better, not by much, admittedly, but it is an advantage, which could be huge.
Rise has more respawns at this point currently than Reciprocity.
And the game just slowed down to snail's pace. It was Rec that need to make the play. Powers shuts down his teammate with the boom, as well as Sleepy.
Now, this is one of those rounds where if you're Rise, do you want to respawn or give it up, right? And you give it up. you don't come back into this one. We're going to see who opts to choose, and a few players did burn their spawns.
Did they really?
Yeah. Yeah, a few players did burn their spawns, I want to say.
Surprising, and it's those mistakes that we said in the heat of the moment. You're just so focused on getting back into the action and trying to make a game-winning play. You can burn through those lives way, way too quick. And with 1 round left on Reciprocity's lock of drop, 2 still, of course, for Rise, Rec have put themselves at series point.
Mirror matchups on the board.
It's beautiful.
You're going to see the markers down low, the drop shots up top. I do believe this is going to be the round. Actually, not this round, but it's going to be the next round where Reciprocity can get that drop shot back if they so choose to. Rise Nation, on their weapon selection, they're going to choose to give themselves some utility grenades. Right? So they're going to give a player the option, and it was actually Shock, the front spawn. So Shockhead says, hey, my front spawn, I need a flash grenade. I need something to get in there to for me to kind of play around to try to get this boom shot. So we'll see what he can do with that.
Again, Rec win this 1 more round. Basically, now you have yourself 4 match points. And the map is set up in such a way that Rec have really had their way with Rise Nation down low at the previous B hill. Rushies will be first to fall in the round, though. It's Shock that finds the pick. And now, all of a sudden, if you're Rise, you want to try and end this as quickly as you possibly can because the kills are coming in flurry. There's only 1 player alive for Rec. Where is he? It's sleepy time. He knows he has to stay alive.
That hurts. Oh, this is going to hurt, too.
Did you spawn in? Again, that's the question.
The pre-fire over the top, guarding the teammate. You see that Lancer. He knows there's not much he can do. That's a... Yeah. Oh, his teammate got the home.
Yeah, 3 players from Rec spawned in. They tried to make the play over towards the home, but the trip cap's still coming through. It's Powers that's capping it up. Teammates elsewhere have to make the play, otherwise Reciprocity could have very seriously misplayed that round.
Now, this is where you got to keep your composure. You don't want to burn your lives on rounds like that, especially when you have the lead.
That's 2 rounds. Rise did it last round. Rec did it that round. Admittedly, they did break the hill, and if they win that fight, yes, the round stays alive. But what's the likelihood? We always talk about fights, right? Don't take your 50-50 fights. Take 60-40. Well, you almost have to think about round wins now the same way, right? You don't want to try and win a 50-50 round. In a game like this, where you know you're getting your drop shot this round, concede it. Give yourself as big a benefit in those later rounds as you possibly can, because the respawn timer gets lower. You're going to be quicker back into the action with more things on the map.
Yeah, and you know, especially now, Reciprocity, they have 2 players on their team with the lowest respawns on the map, and that's with 3. Rise Nation got a few 5s, few 4s, but Reciprocity, 2 of those players got 3, but they can end it right now. They have all the options. They just got to play this round clean. They have a drop. They have an extremely huge advantage, but I will say on the flip end, at the bottom half of the map, there is a Torque Bow versus a Markset down there, and that Torque Bow is going to have 3 shots, and that thing is nasty in the right hands. We like to call those players Robin Hood, a green arrow.
Sure do. Again, remember the key here, Reciprocity's drop shot is out.
That's going to be a suicide, and that's going to be the only boom. Actually, it should be 1 more boom in there. So he's going to go find it, looking for it, searching for it. Oh, well, maybe that boom isn't there. It might just be, actually, it's 1 boom shot in that chamber, so that player used that on a suicide. You got to upgrade that boom to get a second shot.
That's upgrade. That's also something else you can do in weapon placement, which we haven't really touched on too much.
Yeah, we've been waiting for it to happen.
Yeah.
We got to pace ourselves. There's going to be a lot of action, a lot of great moments for us to explain these things. And great job going for the guy in the back with the drop shot and not the one in the hill.
I want to point out, speaking of drop shot, another one up in 30 seconds for Reciprocity. As it stands, they
That
have a
hurts.
20-point lead, and Sleepy Time
Oh,
doing
that's
such a
so
good job
clean.
of just putting
Haven't
down
hit
some
markers.
shots, but Icy tried to push Avexis. He will fall, as now Avexis wants to try and go for the revive on his teammate, but Fran is there, and Fran gets himself a double. This now an opening for Reciprocity.
Also, whenever you see the red crosshair, that's indication of a headshot. If you see a yellow one, that's an active headshot. So you have these hit markers and these damage indicators to help you get better as a player and to hit, be more precise.
Icy needs to be a little careful this round. He's down to his final respawn. Rushies is at 2. Everyone else for Rec should be good. On the flip side for Rise, they're all sat really at 3 and 4 outside of Avexis, who also sits at 2 as well. So the round, as you would expect now, with another drop shot out for Rec, slows down. They have a 2-1 hill advantage. They don't need to push anything. They know Rise need to come to them. They have a point lead. They're going to win the round in 60 seconds, force the mistake, and make a good play here with a drop shot.
Over the
GG.
top. Woo! Thread the needle once again. Rushy showing us how precise he is on the main stage. 39 eliminations, 17 deaths. Can we get that big 4-0? The 40 bomb. Rushy moves in on a flame. He gets one. He's looking for the second one as well, but he says, nah, I got to revive my teammates.
Yep.
And that's something else, too. When you go down, when you wolf pack, you got to stay as close to your teammates as possible because you will burn a life, and those quick revives, press X before you shoot, folks. They do pay off.
That was so smart from Rushies, but now he has to make a play of his own. He managed to level it up. It's a 1v1 on that side of the map, but all he's doing here is bleeding time. Now it's a 1v2, and Rushies is going to recognize it, backs away. They win off one hill. He can concede the mid-neutral hill. It's not going to be too important, but now he wants to go back to the fire, and Avexis had no idea about it. Rushies will find it, but Powers has got his hands on Boom Shot. 207, 137, Swarm win, 41 seconds.
Especially with that character model, the Hunter. Call him the Reaper. Just taking away the respawns from Rise Nation. One kill at a time. Looking for that headshot, being a nuisance, showing he can do it all.
Rise have to do something. They have to do something over towards the home hill of Reciprocity. They need a decap, if nothing else.
Woo, get off me.
It's the mid-neutral. Rushy says thank you very much. That's number 43. Is there anyone over that side of the map? It's going to be Powers. He's all by himself. Shock taking a fight as well. They both drop.
And Reciprocity is our first winner on the main stage. Congratulations to those boys. 7-1, 7-4. They progress on.
Single elim here at the ELEAGUE Summer Series Invitational. So if you're a Rise fan, you will not see them in action again. Reciprocity progress through. We'll see them again tomorrow in a semi-final. The big question, who of course will be facing them. It's not an easy bracket by any means, but I think the one thing that you can really say you learn is Rec, new maps, as Ribs, as Colin pointed out, they're gonna be really, really good.
And it just shows that the veteranship of those guys. They didn't play a lot of gears, and having that, they came in and they adapted very quickly. This one, a lot of practice over the last few days, but it just shows that the play style works out so well for them.
Once again, congratulations to Reciprocity, the first victors of their series today. Still plenty of action though here at the ELEAGUE Summer Series Invitational. We'll be back after this with our analyst desk breaking down the action.
Beautiful plays, beautiful plays. Just like that, bro. Easy, easy, bro. Easy.
Damn. Let's go, boys!
Keep that shit up.
Good job, baby!
Just like that, baby. Just have fight, baby.
Right back in the game. Right back in the game. Go, boys!
Let's go, boys.
Good job, man!
I'm very too good, bro.
Start pulling away! Alex! Start pulling away! Let's go! Let's go! Go home! Bexy! Go home! On swords, boy!
Hit it.